So with this one, we're going to learn how to make a water drop. Uh, there's one feature at the end. This is a very short one. There's one feature at the end that that's what I want you to get out of it. It's the liquefy feature. So to start with this, we are going to make a new layer. Then we're going to grab this elliptical marquee tool. So if you click, you may see the rectangular. Click on that, hold it down, and we want the elliptical. From here, you can hold shift and make a perfect circle. The size, I would say don't make it too small for this one, just so you can see kind of what happens. But it doesn't have to be this big. So then from here, we're going to grab the gradient tool. We want it to be from black to white. So right here, I have white to black, so I can hit X. We can see right up here that switches. So now it goes black to white. Make sure reverse is unchecked, and we want it to be linear. And then from here, if you see the directions, you'll see like a blue dot and a red dot. What he's trying to tell you is to go to click and hold from edge of your selection to the other edge of your selection. So it should look something like this. Then right here, we can hit Control D, which is a shortcut to deselect. And then what we want to do is change our blending mode from normal to overlay. And now we're going to overlay this object onto the layer below it. So we can see that it's kind of somewhat transparent. We can move it around. It shifts color depending on where it's at. Then we want to go to the FX right here. If you can see where my cursor is at in the bottom right of your layers palette. So we want to add a layer style. So we're going to click on that, and we're going to go to the drop shadow. Now for this, we want the blend mode to be multiply. The opacity, we want to be at 50. And then the angle, we want to be at 158. But make sure that you uncheck use global light first, then change it to 158. The distance, you want to be 7, spread 0, size 5. Now these numbers can shift depending on the size of your drop or your circle. But for right now, this is what we'll use. And then you need to make sure that you highlight inner shadow. So you'll see that it'll actually check box at 2, but then it shifts right up here that it says inner shadow. Again, we want multiply. The opacity we want to be -75. This one we can still have checked use global light. And we want the angle to be -29. Then distance 5, choke 0, size 5. And then from those, that's it. Those are the two things you want to be changed or added effects to. And then from here, we're going to go ahead and hit OK. And then now we see we have a little bit of depth for our bubble, our water drop, our circle. So now it's coming a little bit more spherical. The next step you want to do is click on your brush tool. And right now we have black on top and white on top. So we hit X. That is our shortcut. I got a size 15. Probably do a size 20. It also depends on the size of your circle or your water drop. The opacity you want to be at 100. Flow you want to be at 100. Make sure your mode is normal. And then you're just going to click once, kind of right around in that upper left quadrant of your sphere. And then what that will do is add somewhat like a little highlight. Again, we can still move this around. So from there, what I want you to do is go to filter and then liquefy. So we want to make sure that we are on this, the forward warp tool. It should default to that. The brush size can be 100. Density could be 50. You can mess around with those. But what I want you to really do is just kind of move it around, and you can see that it kind of creates almost like a blobbish type shape. And then when you have that into a shape that you like, go ahead and hit OK, and you can see that it actually changes your water drop to be in that shape. So if you wanted to make a tear coming down someone's face, this could be a possibility of how you could do it. Also, raindrops on a window, stuff like that. But that is pretty much it right there. So from there, you would save it as a JPEG, and then you would turn it in.